Thank you. Thank you very much, and hello to everybody. Again, I'm really struggling with the Scottish accent, so I'll try and speak slowly so that you can follow what my little journey. As I said, my main job is a teacher. I have 23 classes, a rather large school, approximately 50 kilometres south of Perth. So I'm hoping to just share these few points with you today in my little 15 minutes that I have to present to you. We've got the state of German in Western Australia, and as Kate mentioned, it declined radically. Nadine's pointed out my little role in German cluster, and if you have a read through of those points, they're some of the things that I will be sharing with you. So, German. Approximately 5-6 years ago, I was voted in as president of the German Teachers Association. This was at a time when the teachers were so discouraged because German as a subject in our West Australian schools had was nearly phased out. And I'm thinking, oh no, not on my watch. So I was incredibly motivated to advocate on behalf of the German language. It has a very strong background throughout Australia. And it was a long, hard struggle, but we've almost doubled our schools in the time that I was president. I'm now immediate past president and been able to hand over to a very active community of German language teachers. In particular, in the area where I live, we have huge development. We had 6 new primary schools within 4 years. That's how much the growth has been in the area where I live. And I was able to convince these schools and principals to offer German so that we would have continuity through to the 2 new high schools that were also built during this time. So all these brand new schools, brand new challenges, not without a lot of support from the Department of Education, financial support, and also from the School Curriculum and Standards Authority in the form of resources. So as Kate mentioned, we do have our new curriculum, and it has been mandated, and it started at the beginning of this year. So last year a lot of work went into training teachers and the familiarisation with this new curriculum. I am a full-time German teacher, as mentioned, and coordinating our local network with these 6 schools, all working with the PowerLanguage platform, has been one of my main tasks this year. We're looking at developing this whole school approach, and Scotland has always been, for me, ever since I've met Nadine, I've aimed toward this, and it doesn't happen much in Western Australian schools at all, and I'm really looking forward to tomorrow to visiting some of your schools, and you have always been an inspiration. If I've ever been at a meeting with principals, I say, well, in Scotland, they've got this. And it's been, yes, I'm excited to see the schools in action tomorrow. Why do we need to develop a whole school approach? This new curriculum has been written, as Kate mentioned earlier, with a notional time of 2 hours per week. Most schools don't get that. Some schools only get 40 minutes, one lesson. My school gives me 50 minutes. Occasionally a school will give you 60 minutes. But how can we meet these achievement standards with only the 50 minutes a week, contact time with students? And I was recently at a principal's breakfast where the keynote speaker said, imagine you have a baby and you bring this baby home from hospital and you discuss with your partner, well, now let's talk to this baby 10 o'clock on Monday and maybe at 1 o'clock on Friday for an hour. We don't do that with our own children. How can our students possibly learn a language with this limited contact time? So really the whole school approach is what we're aiming for. We need to build the capacity of the administrators and teachers in this, and to help with all of this, the department has given funding for the teacher development schools, and I was successful in getting the funding for this year. That was $25,000 per school to help with the implementation of the languages, the new curriculum. So our education department does acknowledge that now, and acknowledges that languages are important, and they are being funded. They have a Key Language Leaders project where approximately 6-7 teachers each year are selected to, again, develop their leadership skills to help others. The LangBits project is based on a LitBit, which is probably based on the Fitbit project. And the LangBits is short video clips that are currently being developed to promote a whole school approach to languages. So I'm hoping I can film a little bit from Scotland to take home and share. And of course we work closely in my cluster with the PowerLanguage schools resources. Got 2 little videos, very short. I'm not quite sure how to get them to play. One is my dream of when you first go to a school, and you'll see this is my school, my front office and my principal. This is what I would like to happen in all schools.
So the blue
if we
one,
just click on the blue one. Offices look the same all around the world, don't they? The other short film is as a teacher, one of my strong advocates within my school who's always tried to incorporate German in his regular class day-to-day running, and he explains a little bit about how he does this.
We reinforce the Deutsch that's done by Helen in the German room by making it part of their fortnightly contract. We frequently set a Deutsch activity, whether that is consolidating a phrase that they've learnt in Deutsch, or even more importantly, learning a new phrase so they can impress their Deutsch teacher. Lots of times they are optional tasks, but the kids choose to do those. Quite enthusiastic about that. In addition to the online resources we use, such as Language Hub, which the kids use to consolidate their Deutsch that they learn at school. We also sing our birthdays in the classroom when we celebrate our birthdays. We sing them always in English and in Deutsch, and we reinforce the counting of numbers always in Deutsch. So our greetings in the morning are always expressed using Deutsch as well. So that's what we do.
So to have all teachers in all schools integrate languages into their day-to-day program is a dream of mine and something that is very near to my heart. So building the capacity of teachers, we have in my cluster different teachers are using different strategies. We've got the German cafe for teachers. We've got the staff meeting presentations demonstrating resource, especially PowerLanguage resources, and how they can be utilised in class. We assist with personal requests from colleagues over particular topics and phrases of the week. They're in staff rooms, they're in front office, also included in the school newsletters. A lot of schools are increasing their amount of labelling throughout the school. And of course we like to see and hear more of the second languages and the languages that the children bring to their classrooms, spoken and seen. PowerLanguage helps us with this because they develop resources. In one of the schools, Jenna requested some cultural links, and Nadine and her team put together an amazing resource for her that the other schools then also latched onto and shared. So these resources are available for download and to print. Of course, we all know that that's going to save every teacher a lot of time. And also we have the development of new resources to suit the learning programs and this new curriculum that we now have. So I'd like to now talk on two projects of my own that I've developed and have presented on over the last couple of years. One's a school kitchen garden. Our school, I think it's across all of Australia, the Stephanie Alexander School Kitchen Garden program. And we have in a primary school a fully functional kitchen with 6 kitchen bays, which is very unusual for a primary school. And we have an amazing kitchen garden. So I've been teaching the Year 2s and the Year 3s through the kitchen garden, and we do this all in German. So from the rules, from what we see, what we grow, linking into all of your sciences and your maths when we're measuring. You'll see me there showing them all about little strawberry plants, where they all got to take a strawberry plant home, the parts of the plant, how to care for it, what part to eat, what not to eat, the insects, the mini beasts, the treasure hunt for the insects. And PowerLanguage, of course, helps incredibly with this in their science resources that are available, and all the various listening, speaking, reading and writing activities. Teachers can, you'll see there the top left corner, that's a neighbouring school. They've embraced this concept of the school kitchen garden, and they've got the most amazing signs. You'll see it's in 3 languages. We've got the English, German and the local Noongar language as well. And my other content language integrated learning concept that I've been working on this last 2 years is coding. Coding has become incredibly popular, and STEM, science, technology, engineering and mathematics, and the art teachers like to include the A and call it STEAM subject, so I'm not sure in Scotland's probably also very trendy. So how can I include coding in with my German lessons? And I do have a little video there, the little boy in blue and his team. On their mat they had questions and answers, so they had to program the little B-bot to go to the questions. The group asked him the question, he had to then answer all in German.
Do you want me to
Yeah, if we can get it to play. It didn't...
No. Yeah. Go. Wie heißt du? Leonardo. Wie alt bist du? 7. Was ist dein Lieblingstier? Ein Hund. Pony.
Now, this was an amazing way of formative assessment, because could the group that had to ask the question, they didn't ask the final question and the little boy answered the question. He knew what was coming, he could read the question, but the group didn't know how to say wann ist dein Geburtstag. So he actually answered the question and said July before they asked the question. So I knew that was the next teaching point, to practice that new question. So integrating the coding with language is to me a natural mix, and of course our PowerLanguage platform offers lots of possibilities here. The stories, for example, when you print out stories, you can do story sequencing, and the children, as they land on each a page of the story, they can then read the story to each other. So spelling, just spelling things, you can have the letters that you need, not necessarily all of your letters, but just the ones that you need to spell certain words, you can program through, and you can hold your conversations. They can program through their life cycles as well with these little B-bots, and also the song lyrics in order. So you get this linking with whole school priorities, such as the STEM or STEAM, and it makes it meaningful with your language learning. So, saves time, we all know this, saves time in preparing for lessons. I love the explanatory notes for the teachers, and with our promotion and our push for a whole school approach, the generalist classroom teachers are benefiting from all of this information. I'm not a native German speaker, so having the diversity of sound files is just wonderful, so that the children are exposed to different accents. The cross-curricular lessons are particularly valuable. And of course, we can adapt any of these lessons to all our age groups. I love the cultural content that we have, lots of engaging games, flashcards easy to print, and this ability to request new topics to match with whole school priorities is of great importance to us all. So thank you. That's a little bit from the ground, what's happening in Baldivis Primary School. Thanks so much.